doesn't mean execution.
All right, a guy who always executes is a man who helps out families and helps out folks all of the time. If you're at a crossroads in your life and you need the help of a family lawyer, this is a man you need to call immediately. He is the Ox. Jarrod Oxendine from Oxendine Law, divorce and family law attorneys, joining us here on the Home Team in Hamilton show here on the Fan, 680, 93.7 FM. Jarrod, how you doing this fine Thursday morning?
Fellas, good morning. Doing great. How we doing over there?
Doing all right. Trying to get these Braves bats awakened, and hopefully it'll happen today so everybody gets a good outcome for day baseball.
Oh, it's been a rough start. And I'll tell you, a lot of people are having problems right now because a lot of people went off cable and they switched over to internet TV like YouTube. And it's blacked out on YouTube TV, for example. So a lot of folks, maybe it's a blessing, have missed these first few games, but they're looking for a way to start watching.
Well, that's why they should tap the app and download the 680 The Fan app so they can tap it and listen to the sultry sounds of the Atlanta Braves radio network. With a lot of folks at home and a lot of folks coming out of different scenarios, how do you prepare when you have to have those serious discussions for an initial divorce consultation?
So a lot of people will call into my office and they're like, hey, what do I need to bring into my meeting? Do I need my marriage certificate? Do I need bank statements? Do I need tax returns? Do I need pay stubs? And the answer is no. I just need you. You come in. I'll ask you all the questions that I need to ask. You don't have to bring in any documentation. I'll give you a full-blown consultation, tell you where you stand, what the process looks like, what you can expect as far as the outcome is concerned, and then you can decide if you want to start the process. Now, when the process gets started, the opposing party or opposing counsel may ask for copies of bank statements and retirement account statements and other financial records, but you don't have to bring anything in with you to your first consultation.
Jarrod, why do you feel that in most of your cases that divorce is a good thing?
Look, for a lot of people, divorce is a great thing. It really is. If you're in a situation where you're just mired down in the muckety-muck with your spouse, maybe they have a conduct issue, maybe they're controlling the finances and you don't have access to any of the money, maybe they're not making good decisions with your kids, we can breathe new life into you. We can secure your freedom. We can secure your independence. We can let you gain control of your finances. We can get you custody of your children. We can give you a fresh, brand new start. For those folks, divorce is a great thing.
Jarrod Oxendine from Oxendine Law joining us via the Loud Security Systems Newsmaker line. He is currently offering in-person meetings or virtual meetings by telephone and video conference via Zoom to discuss your family law needs from the comforts of your home. How are your clients and their lives improved through divorce, Jarrod?
Well, they just get a brand new start. It's really just a new, fresh take on life. If you're in a situation and you're not happy, you don't have to live that way. There is light through the end of the forest and at the end of the rainbow. It just gives you a fresh new start, gives you control back, gives you your independence, puts you in control of your finances and your future and your children, and it really can just help a lot of folks and get them out of a bad situation.
What about folks that, may have some mingling where they are about to get married? You have a fiance situation, and we were talking about DMX who passed away, and I don't know the commingling of their finances and that type of scenario. What are your thoughts on a situation like that where, people have cohabitated and they might need some consultation?
Yeah, that's a good question. Obviously, the DMX situation has brought this to light. So what folks need to know is that being engaged doesn't guarantee you anything except condolences, right? So if your fiance passes away, it creates no legal bond. So if you want to create a legal bond, there are things you actually can do if you're engaged to be married, so that in the event that you pass away or your fiance passes away, you do have some type of claim to the finances. You can add that person as a beneficiary to retirement accounts or bank accounts. You can add them to title of property. So if you've got a house, you can add your fiance's name to the title. You can also put them in your will. Now, I'm not saying this is a good thing to do. Depending on your circumstances, you may not want to do that. And if I'm your divorce attorney, I'm probably telling you not to do that, right? Because if you're the one that controls the finances and the money and you've got the house and your fiance is not really bringing much to the marriage, last thing you probably want to do is go ahead and start adding them to title and naming them as the beneficiary. But if you want to, for whatever reason, or let's say you're the person that's not bringing a lot into the relationship and you want to look out for your future in the event that something happens to your fiance before you get married, those are things you can do to create a legal bond and an interest so that if your fiance passes away, you do have a claim to some assets.
Jarrod, is there such thing as a prenuptial for future earnings. And where I'm getting at right now is Trevor Lawrence got married last week, and he was engaged, and I'm not anticipating anything bad happen. But we know he's going to be the number one pick. We know he's going to have a future earning of a lot of money. Can that be protected at all, or is just when he gets married, everything that happens after that marriage is just joint?
Yes, Trevor needs to and should get a prenuptial agreement, and the prenuptial agreement can control all of that. So if he gets a prenuptial agreement, it can control what happens in the event of a divorce. So, how much of the assets is his spouse going to get, whether or not there's going to be alimony, and if so, how much. You can control all those things in a prenuptial agreement. If you're going into a marriage and you've got some exposure, either because you own a business or you've got a high salary or you're bringing a lot of assets into the marriage, and even if that money has not been earned yet, you still can control all of that through a prenuptial agreement, and you actually can also do it through a postnuptial agreement, which is a prenuptial agreement after you get married. That's harder to do, right, because you've already tied the knot,
right?
So there's not as much of an incentive for the other person to sign, but we do postnuptial agreements as well.
Fantastic information. You have been helping folks in the community, and you are a guy who gets results. He's Jarrod Oxendine from Oxendine Law, divorce and family law attorneys. If you are at a crossroads in your life and you need help, you need to call Jarrod Oxendine from Oxendine Law. Jarrod, we look forward to talking to you the next time down the road.
Thanks, guys. Always a pleasure. Take care.
770-497-8688, the number to call, 770-497-8688. Jarrod Oxendine from Oxendine Law. The Ox. As for the Ox. And you know what? He's one of those guys, when he's in the office, he picks up the phone. It's not, you have to talk to 4 or 5 different people before you get to Jarrod Oxendine. You want to talk to the Ox.